Hello, I'm Susan Woods of Susan Woods Nonprofit Solutions. I am continuing with the investigation into Black Lives Matter, and this video message focuses on Black Lives Matter, Middleburg, Florida. And the question is, where is the tax-free money? This is part 2 in my Black Lives Matter investigations, which focuses on Black Lives Matter 501c3 nonprofit organizations. Part 1 of the Black Lives Matter investigations focused on the chapters, the Black Lives Matter chapters that are underneath the Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation's umbrella. Part 2 of Black Lives Matter investigations, once again, focuses on the Black Lives Matter organizations or chapters or entities or whatever you want to call it that have earned 501c3 status. So let's take a look. These are the Black Lives Matter chapters or entities or whatever you want to call them that have earned 501c3 nonprofit status. So they are the Black Lives Matter 501c3 nonprofit organizations. And again, this video message is focusing on the Middleburg, Florida chapter or entity or organization. But all of these that you see here have earned 501c3 nonprofit status. So I just let you take a moment to look at these. I'm not going to read them to you. And I also included the employer identification numbers for each chapter so that you can do your own investigations if you choose. This information came from irs.gov. And here are the other ones, the remaining ones. So there are a total of 14 Black Lives Matter entities that earned 501c3 status. And again, the source is irs.gov. In the last video message of part 2 of the Black Lives Matter investigations, I provided the investigation results for Charleston, South Carolina. And the questions I answered were as follows. What are the leadership names? For Charleston, I couldn't find any. The mailing address? No. Phone number? No. Does the chapter have an email or social media presence? Yes. Is the chapter registered with the Secretary of State office in South Carolina? No. Does the chapter have an IRS 501c3 status, current active status? No. R means revoked. Does the chapter accept donations? Yes. Now, I want you to take a moment to think about this, the answers to these two questions. Once again, does the chapter have IRS 501c3 status? No, the status is revoked. Does the chapter accept donations? Yes. That is fraud. Nonprofit organizations are not supposed to accept donations with the revoked status. Just like you're not supposed to drive with a revoked license. If your nonprofit status is revoked, that means you don't have a status anymore. So how are you accepting donations? But the Black Lives Matter Charleston, South Carolina entity is currently accepting donations through PayPal. The donations processor is PayPal. Where is the money going? Who knows? So those are the investigation results for Black Lives Matter Charleston. I'm going to give you the answers to the questions for Middleburg, Florida in this video message. So here we are. Here we go. Let's do our investigation. You know that I always demonstrate the way in which I gather my information during these investigations. I don't just give you the answers. I want you to see for yourself how I get the answers. So I'm going to pause the video for just one moment so that I can get to the screen where I want to show you how I demonstrate the investigation. So just one moment, please. And I thank you for your patience. Okay, thank you so much for your patience. I am going to resume my screen in just one moment. But again, I think it's important to be able to see the information that I share. So here I am now. I'm sharing the information that I was able to find about the Middleburg, Florida Black Lives Matter chapter. This is it. I could not find anything about this chapter. They don't have a website. They're not on Facebook. They're not on Instagram. So I couldn't find anything. So I searched, I just did a Google search, and this is what I came up with. And it's just basically talking about how Black Lives Matter and Blue Lives Matter supporters gather in Middleburg. So this was a newspaper, I'm sorry, this was an article posted on the news channel, News for Jacks. This is where I got this from, as you can see, News for Jacks. And it was posted on July the 18th. I'm sorry, updated on July the 19th, excuse me, published on July the 18th, as you can see over here on the left. And it just talks about the two different groups meeting and gathering and I guess promoting their own causes. So you can go to this site. I'm not going to click on the video that goes along with it, but it just talks about why each group was protesting. And that's all I could find. That is it. I couldn't find anything else about this organization as far as whether they have a website or Facebook or Instagram or any type of social media presence. I just couldn't find anything. So I'm going to pause my screen one more time because I want to show you the IRS results that I found for this organization. So just one moment, please. Thank you so much for allowing me to go from screen to screen. Excuse me, I can't even talk because I like to be able to show you how I come about my information. So now we are on the IRS.gov website. And if you've been following my videos, you know that I always go here to check the status of nonprofit organizations. So I am on the results for tax exempt organization search page. And here is the path. If you ever want to check out organizations, here's the path that you would use. You would go to the home page, irs.gov, then you would go to charities and nonprofits and then search for charities. And then you would come to this tax exempt organization search page. I just type in the organization name, I search by organization name, and the search term is Black Lives Matter. And then, of course, I click on the word search. And what it does, it will list all of the entities that have earned 501c3 status with names similar to Black Lives Matter. So we are on Black Lives Matter 2. That's the name of this organization that I'm investigating for Middleburg, Florida. So it's called Black Lives Matter 2. Here's the EIN, and it's in Middleburg, Florida. And as you can tell right away, the status is revoked because there's an auto revocation notification here. Auto revocation list. That means they are on the auto revocation list because their status is revoked. So I'm going to click on the link to this organization. And it automatically displays Black Lives Matter 2, the EIN, and then the location. And then it lets you know it's on the auto revocation list. And it says here, organizations whose federal tax exempt status was automatically revoked for not filing a Form 990 series return or notice for 3 consecutive years. Now, here's an important note. Important note. Just because an organization appears on this list, it does not mean the organization is currently revoked, as they may have been reinstated. Okay, so let's look at the exemption type the organization had. This organization, Black Lives Matter 2, in Middleburg, Florida, never had a 501c3. They had a 501c4 status. There are several types of 501c organizations. So I'm going to click on the link to let you see what 501c4 means as far as a status. 501c4 status is still a nonprofit. It's given to civic leagues, social welfare organizations, and local associations of employees. So that's the status that they chose when they applied for 501c3 status. Now, I'm sorry, for nonprofit status, not 501c3 status. They chose to apply for nonprofit status to earn a 501c4 designation. Normally, people choose the 501c3 designation because it gives so much latitude in what you are able to do underneath that status. But they chose the 501c4 status for whatever reason, probably because they wanted to be a social welfare organization, which you could have easily been underneath the 501c3 status. But anyway, that's what they chose. Now, the notice said that just because they are on the list, it doesn't mean they are currently revoked. Well, they are currently revoked because they don't have a reinstatement date. If they had their status reinstated, then a reinstatement date would show here. So they don't have one. So they are still revoked. They were revoked officially on May the 15th, 2018 for not filing for 3 consecutive years. So that lets you know that they received 501c3 status in 2015. So they did not file for 3 consecutive years. I'm sorry, they received status in 2014. So they didn't file in 2015, 2016, and 2017. So they were revoked in 2018. And their revocation posting date meaning when we, the people, the citizens, could see the revocation date was on August the 13th, 2018 is when the IRS posted it to this site. They were revoked in May of that year, but we could see the revocation in August of that year. So they don't have a status, okay? They do not have a status. So now I'm going to pause the screen for one last time to go back to the PowerPoint presentation to give you the results of the investigation. So just one moment, please. Just one moment. I thank you for your patience and allowing me to do this. I think this is crucial to be able to demonstrate how I get the answers rather than just showing you the answers. Okay, so I'm almost there. Okay, so now I'm back. So again, I demonstrated the steps that I used to get the answers to the investigative questions for Black Lives Matter, Middleburg, Florida. And now I'm going to display the answers, the results. So here we are, Middleburg, Florida. Leadership names, like I said, I couldn't find anything. I couldn't find anything on them. So everything is a no. Okay, everything is a no all the way down. Okay. They're not registered with the Secretary of State's office in Florida, and they don't have a 501c3 status because it's revoked. I don't know if they're accepting donations. I couldn't find anything about it. So therefore, I don't know the donations processor, and I don't know if they're getting any money or where it's going. So those are the investigative results for Middleburg, Florida. I will talk about Denver, Colorado in our next video message and provide the results for Denver, Colorado. So continuing on with this video regarding Middleburg, Florida. Where do I stand? You know, people often ask me, well, you talk about Black Lives Matter. You've been investigating Black Lives Matter. You've investigated the Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation. You've investigated its 18 chapters underneath it. And now you've investigated 2 Black Lives Matter organizations that have nonprofit status. So where do I stand as a Black woman from South Carolina? Here is where I stand. I support the Black Lives Matter slogan. I believe that Black lives matter because I'm Black. I do not support the Black Lives Matter movement, protests, chapters, or entities because they do not have formal leadership structure, measurable objectives or goals, standard operational practices, financial transparency or accountability, valid sustainability, and long-term plans. I don't know anything about what they're doing. Okay? So I cannot support an organization that falls short in all of these areas. It's like, what do you do? How do you support something like this? If you don't know where your money is going, if you don't know where you can go if you have a concern about anything, why would you support it? I don't get it. I don't get it. So that's where I stand. Now, people in prior videos, I've gotten comments, and thank you so much for your comments that you leave in YouTube on my YouTube page. I appreciate it. Some of you send emails directly to me at woods.susan@yahoo.com. Some of you have even sent me voice messages on my phone at 704-968-2769 to share your concerns, to offer words of encouragement, and even to send me links to articles and videos and things that you think will help me in this investigation. And I thank you very much for that. But people also ask me, well, Susan, who or what organizations should I support? I want to help the Black community. So what should I support? Well, I recommend the Equal Justice Initiative. This initiative was started by Brian Stevenson, and you probably heard his name because he has been advocating for the Black community for years. He's a lawyer. And the Equal Justice Initiative focuses on getting people, Black people, out of jail, basically, who have been incarcerated for no reason. That's the focus of this organization, overturning convictions of people who are innocent. So I would ask that you support that organization. Just go to the website and make a donation. It's www.eji.org. That's my suggestion. And I'll be making suggestions on the next few video messages that I share of organizations that I recommend you support or at least investigate. This is the Equal Justice Initiative. Thank you for supporting my YouTube channel, Susan Woods Nonprofit Solutions. I really appreciate your support. I am also promoting 2 hashtags, if you wouldn't mind sharing those hashtags. The first one is hashtag BLM investigations, and the second one, hashtag defund Black Lives Matter. I don't think they need to get one more penny of anybody's money because it's not benefiting the Black community. So please help me promote those 2 hashtags. And again, thank you for supporting my channel. I would appreciate it if you would subscribe to this channel. Like the video if you like it, like the information if you like it. And then click on the bell so that you will be notified of whenever I upload I'm getting tongue-tied. When I upload other video messages. So subscribe, like, and click on the bell. I'm Susan Woods of Susan Woods Nonprofit Solutions. My website is www.trustsusanwoods.com. Thank you for your support and have a great day.